Ever like opened the hood of a car and just been like, whoa, how'd they even...
It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all those parts working together.
It's a symphony of engineering. And that's exactly what we're diving into today, the world of automotive engineering.
Yeah, those are the masterminds behind our cars. You guys sent us a ton about this career path, so we're going to break down how to go from loving cars to actually designing them.
I'm here to be your guide. We'll navigate the road from those initial design sparks all the way to landing your dream job.
Awesome. So this career guide we've got lays out what an automotive engineer actually does. And honestly, it's like the best of both worlds, creative and problem solving.
Exactly. You're not just dreaming up cool car designs.
Yeah.
You're figuring out how to actually bring those ideas to life.
So you're telling me it's not all just sketching fancy cars in a notebook?
Uh-huh. Well, there might be some of that. But it's way more dynamic. Think about a car's safety features for a second.
Okay, yeah.
Like airbags, those crumple zones you never see. Automotive engineers use serious math, like complex calculations, to make sure those features actually protect people in a crash.
Whoa. Okay, so it's not just about aesthetics?
Not at all. It's about using your skills to solve real-world problems with huge impact.
That's pretty cool. The guide also mentions something called typical interactions, which makes it sound like automotive engineers don't just work alone in some, like, secret lab.
Right. It's actually super collaborative. Imagine this. You've designed this awesome new feature for a car.
Okay, I'm picturing it.
Now you got to pitch that idea to other engineers, maybe work with manufacturing to see if it's even possible.
Oh, right, because it's got to be something they can actually build.
Exactly. And then you might even have to explain that tech to the marketing team so they can sell it.
So you need, like, people skills, too.
Absolutely. Being able to communicate those complex ideas is super key.
Mhm.
Automotive engineers are like the bridge between that cool technology and the people who build, sell, and ultimately drive those cars.
And speaking of tech, CAD software, that seems like a game changer.
Oh, absolutely. CAD software is an automotive engineer's best friend.
I bet. It's like those sleek 3D models you see in car commercials, right?
Well,
All those
it's-
curves and details.
That's CAD in action. We're talking software like CATIA or SolidWorks. Think of it this way.
Mm-hmm.
You want to design a new side mirror, right?
Okay.
With CAD, you're not just making a flat drawing. You're creating a virtual twin of that mirror with the exact dimensions, the materials, even how the air will flow around it.
So it's basically like you're holding the design in your hand.
Pretty much. It's an incredibly powerful tool.
Way cooler than the stuff I used back in school. Okay, so that's a glimpse into the what. Now, how do you actually become the one creating those designs? The career guide goes into these academic pathways, and it's not as straightforward as I thought.
You're right. It's not just about knowing car parts by heart. It's about building a solid foundation.
So what? Like you have to go to school for this?
Well, a dedicated automotive engineering program is amazing if you can find one. But honestly, other engineering degrees can be just as valuable.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, even industrial engineering. They all give you skills that translate to the automotive world.
So it's less about the exact degree and more about the skills you learn along the way.
100%. You could have automotive engineering on your diploma, but if you don't have those core abilities, it won't get you very far.
Okay, makes sense. So let's talk about those functions and core abilities then. The guide mentioned math, critical thinking, even reading comprehension.
All those things might seem separate, but they all come together in automotive engineering.
Yeah, okay, I'm curious how that works. Give me an example.
Sure. Imagine your task is to make a car more fuel efficient. How would you even start?
I honestly have no idea.
Well, you'd use math. You'd be calculating engine output, how the car's shape affects drag, even how much different materials weigh.
So like math is the behind-the-scenes language of car design.
Exactly.
Okay, and what about the critical thinking part? Is that where, like, you figure out why something's not working and then fix it?
You got it. Let's say your new car design keeps failing these safety tests.
Uh-oh, not good.
Right. So you'd use your critical thinking to analyze the data, pinpoint the problem areas, and then brainstorm solutions.
Like, aha, it's the left blinker fluid.
Maybe. But you also have to think practically. Can this solution actually be manufactured? Will it fit within the budget? It's problem solving, but with real-world limitations.
So it's not just about having the answer, but knowing how to find it, right?
You've got it. And the thing about automotive engineering is it's constantly changing. New technology, new trends. It's a field where you never stop learning.
So you're constantly researching, taking courses, reading up on the latest advancements.
All of the above. The career guide mentions the importance of staying updated through industry publications, going to conferences, always being curious. It's a career for people who love to learn.
I like that. So you've aced your engineering classes, you're up to date on all the tech, but then comes the job interview, which can be scary.
It can feel like a whole other challenge, right?
Totally. And that's where RoleCatcher comes in, right? Like our trusty sidekick in this job search quest.
Exactly. RoleCatcher can be a game changer when it comes to interview prep. They have this huge database of interview questions, over 120,000.
120,000. How is that even possible?
And the best part, they're all tailored to specific careers, including automotive engineering.
Whoa, okay. But hold on, 120,000 questions. How does anybody even process that many?
Don't worry, RoleCatcher doesn't just throw all those questions at you at once. Their system is really smart, actually.
Okay, good, because I was starting to panic a little.
They use AI to figure out like what kind of engineering role you're going for and your experience level.
Oh, that's cool. So it's personalized.
Totally. It's like they know exactly what those hiring managers are looking for, and then they give you the most relevant questions.
That's way better than just like Googling common interview questions.
Right. It takes all the guesswork out of it.
Yeah.
And get this, the career guide mentioned that RoleCatcher gives you feedback on your answers too.
Wait, really? Like they tell you what you're doing well and what you could improve.
Exactly. Say you're practicing your answer to like, tell me about a time you had to solve a complex engineering problem.
Okay, I'm imagining.
RoleCatcher's AI will actually analyze your response.
That's kind of scary.
It's cool. They're not just looking at if you gave the right answer. They also see how clearly you explain things if you sound confident, and even how well you're showing off those soft skills like communication and problem solving.
So it's like having a little career coach in your pocket.
Exactly. It's like having a secret weapon for your interview prep.
I like the sound of that, especially since the job market is so competitive these days. Speaking of competition, we got to talk about how technology is changing the whole game. Like that section on Beat the Automated Recruiter, that felt kind of intense.
It's definitely a new world out there. Think about it this way. A lot of companies use these systems that scan resumes for certain keywords.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. Like robots deciding who gets an interview.
Pretty much. So your resume has to be speaking their language, so to speak.
So how do you do that?
That's where RoleCatcher comes in again. They have this tool called skills analysis, and it basically helps you figure out what those systems are looking for.
Oh, so you can tailor your resume to each job.
Exactly. You highlight the skills that matter most for that specific role. It's strategic resume writing.
Smart. And while we're on the topic of RoleCatcher, they mentioned this cool plugin RoleCatcher. Capture. Sounds catchy. What's that all about?
Have you ever been on like 5 different job boards at once and it's just overwhelming?
All the time.
Well, this plugin lets you save jobs from any website with just one click.
No way. So you can keep everything organized without all the hassle.
Exactly. It's a huge time saver.
I'm sold. Okay, so we've talked about the what's of automotive engineering, the skills you need, even how to ace that interview. But now I want to dive into the really exciting stuff, the future of the industry.
Right. Like we just touched on it earlier, but industry trends. That's where things get really interesting. The automotive world is changing faster than ever.
Okay, spill the tea. What are the biggest trends right now?
2 words: sustainability and technology.
Okay, so not just making cars faster and cooler anymore.
Well, those are still important, but sustainability is a huge driving force in automotive engineering today.
So what, like electric vehicles, stuff like that?
Exactly. We're talking electric cars, alternative fuels, even using recycled materials to build cars.
So it's about reducing the impact on the environment.
Absolutely. And it's not just a trend. It's completely reshaping how engineers approach car design.
Speaking of electric vehicles, how is that whole shift impacting the work of automotive engineers? Like, isn't it completely different from designing a traditional gas-powered car?
Oh, 100%. We're talking about a fundamental shift.
Hmm.
For over a century, it's been all about the combustion engine, right?
Yeah.
But now, engineers are at the forefront of this electric revolution. We're talking developing new battery technologies, figuring out how to make electric powertrains more efficient.
Powertrains, that's like the system that actually makes the car move, right?
Exactly. It's a whole new ballgame. And it's not just about what's under the hood either.
Oh, what else? Tell me more.
Think about it. With electric, you don't have that big, bulky engine taking up space.
Oh, right.
So designers have way more freedom. They can create these super aerodynamic exteriors, experiment with the inside of the car.
Like make it roomier or more futuristic looking?
Exactly. Electric is giving designers a chance to completely rethink what a car can be.
That's so cool. It's like we're on the verge of a whole new era of car design.
We are. And it's not just electric either. Remember we talked about self-driving cars earlier?
Oh, yeah. That's what kind of blows my mind. Like, are we really going to have cars that drive themselves?
It's closer than you think.
Yeah.
And automotive engineers are the ones making it happen. They're developing the sensors, the software, all the tech that lets a car understand its surroundings.
So it's like giving the car a brain.
Kind of. The car can actually make decisions like when to brake or change lanes, all without any human input.
Wow. I can see how some people might be a little freaked out about that, like giving up control.
Oh, definitely. It's a huge change.
Yeah.
But there are other advancements that aren't quite so, dramatic.
Okay, good, because I was about to say self-driving cars are cool, but I still like being in control.
Uh-huh. I hear you. But have you heard about connected car technologies?
Connected cars, like cars with Bluetooth.
It's just the beginning. We're talking about cars that are basically as smart as your phone.
Okay, now that's interesting. What does that even mean? Like my car can check my email.
Think bigger. We're talking cars with internet access, advanced navigation systems, even the ability to communicate with other cars on the road.
Whoa, wait. So my car could warn me about traffic before I even see it.
Exactly. Or even help you find a parking spot.
Okay, I want that feature like yesterday. This is blowing my mind. So we've got electric cars, self-driving cars, cars that are practically their own Wi-Fi hotspots. What's next?
Well, how about cars made of, plant fibers?
Wait, what?
I know, right? Remember we talked about those advanced materials? Engineers are getting super creative. We're talking lightweight composites, super strong alloys, even bio-based materials made from things like plants.
Wow, so the car of the future could be super high-tech and eco-friendly.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of automotive engineering. It's this constantly evolving field where you can combine your love for cars with your passion for technology, innovation, and, yeah, even saving the planet.
That's so awesome. So it's not just about horsepower anymore, it's about using your brain power to design the future.
Exactly. And for anyone listening who's thinking about diving into this field, my biggest piece of advice is to never stop learning.
I second that. The automotive industry is changing every day, so you gotta be ready to change with it. Embrace those new technologies, get your hands dirty, and never be afraid to experiment.
Well said. Because who knows, maybe one of our listeners will be the one designing the cars that will be driving us into the future.
How cool would that be? And on that note, we're going to wrap things up. But before we go, we have a question for you, our listeners. Think about those futuristic car materials we talked about. If you could use any material, no matter how wild, to build your dream car, what would it be and why? Let us know. Until next time, keep those engines revving.